Namaste. Welcome. Our tongue has a direct connection to our hips. This is one of the most meaningful, beautiful, and profound realizations I gained from the practice of Khechari Mudra. So what is the connection? What is the purpose? What is the significance? There are deep energetic elements, components, entities we hold deeply hidden inside our hips, which includes imbalances, blockages, and even the Kundalini energy. Which the asanas, even how advanced they are, even the advanced pranayama, even if you combine the asana and the pranayama, won't be able to access. Although the bandhas, they are enough, but it will really require plenty of time of practice, long time duration of practice. The Khechari Mudra, if learned progressively and with really proper guidance and the understanding of the preparatory elements leading to practice, would essentially allow us to gain access to those deep, hidden, dormant, trapped, stagnation, blockages we hold inside the hips. Not just to serve the purpose of rising the Kundalini, but for health and wellness, for meditation. Really, this is so helpful for me to manage my health, to stay away from diseases, to feel energetic blockages. Thus, I'm able to dissolve them. Thus, I don't get sick. And the Kundalini rising is just a bonus. Actually, it will just happen as an essential, I would say, byproduct and side effect of the Khechari Mudra if we practice it properly. The danger is this, because it's quite fascinating to be able to allow the tongue to curl backwards inside the throat. But that alone would not serve the purpose of really going deep into our energetic channels. The tongue itself, it's so easy to learn the technique. And there are people who are quite sensitive or quite, I would say, mobile and flexible inside the tongue, the mouth, that they're able to do it really effortlessly. But what happens after? What do we do with it? For us to be able to feel the relationship of the hips and the inner body and the mouth, we need to develop our bandhas first. Especially the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha. Especially the Mula Bandha, really very essential. Because without the Mula Bandha, aware, open, sensitive, and we keep on exploring the tongue or the mouth, the throat, using the tongue, we might end up hurting the sensitive organs inside our nasal cavity, which might lead to pressure, headache, even we might even hurt the sensitive nerve we hold inside, which are all connected with the head, the eyes, and the ears, and the nose, which is not good for our health. Right? Because the sensation that we will try to gain access to in relation to Khechari Mudra should all come from the hips. Really. Right? And without the Mula Bandha guiding us through the process, doing and mapping and locating whatever is inside the throat is dangerous for the health of your body, the eyes, the ears, and the head. Worst, if the bandhas are not confident enough to control and regulate the pressure you're putting inside the brain, you might even hurt your nervous system by sending potent, intense electrical current inside the nervous system. So it's a sensitive practice which should be learned and tackled really progressively through the guidance of the teacher. Right? And this doesn't happen overnight. Right? Developing the bandhas alone will take many years. Right? Learning the tongue kriya is easy. Yeah? But developing the preparatory requirement is the most challenging, the bandhas. And even before the bandhas develop, the body would have to be developed as well. And all the preparatory breath regulation to develop the strength of the respiratory system would have to be accomplished first. Right. So that's the requirement that we need. Now what's the relationship? Right. So when we breathe through the Khechari Mudra and side by side we access the bandhas in correct intensity and the proper timing, we will be able now to pave way for the opening of the three fundamental nadis, the Pingala and the Sushumna, especially the Sushumna, because down the hips, close to the Muladhara, the Kanda Nadi is there, where the origin of the three fundamental nadis are located. All right. And we will only be able to access the origin of the three fundamental nadis when the Muladhara and the rest of the bandhas are confident enough to flow the energy through those points. Alright. So when we breathe through the Khechari Mudra, for example, if you're doing the alternate nostril breathing, normally I would practice my pranayama while at the Khechari Mudra, and I will do it for many minutes or even hours. So as you inhale through the process, let's talk about inhalation first. As you inhale through the process, definitely you have to breathe in the practice. So what happens inside the mouth, what happens inside the throat, what happens down the hips. Right. So when we inhale to pave way for the energy to enter through the Sushumna Nadi, either Pingala, if you're gonna practice the asymmetrical elements there. Right. So you need to open the pathways. So how do we open the pathways? So we relax the bandhas a bit. So how do we relax the bandhas, the Muladhara? Soften the hips a bit. So you don't want to be clenching and contracting. I'm not a fan of like contracting, clenching the genital and the anal region, because if you do that, you will experience some manifestations of the Muladhara there, but it stops really low. So our aim is to really rise it up, higher up the chakras of the spine, the 7 chakras of the astral system. And in relation to the chakras, the Khechari Mudra is actually very good at directing the energy to flow through the chakras of the astral system. There are many realizations that you will be learning, gaining through the practice of the Khechari Mudra if done progressively and properly. Alright, going back. So when you inhale, relax the bandhas a bit to make room for the energy to rise and to make room for the nadis to open. Alright, so as you breathe in, for example, you're doing the alternate nostril breathing. As you inhale through the right, you're going to relax the bandhas first, and then allow the tip of the tongue to relax a bit. So what I would do is I will just relax my tongue inside. Or if, for example, I'm feeling blockages, imbalances, for example, I feel my left channel is a bit tight, so I will slide the tongue a little bit towards the right side or the left side of my nasal cavity, really high up there, and there are nerves there, and I will gently suck it up, like a gentle click, a gentle suction, and I would normally feel that the part where my tongue is digging really ripple down the sensation, the feeling ripples down to the hips, and I will use now the bandhas, especially the Mula and the Uddiyana Bandha, to release the blockages or imbalances. I'm holding down the hips, and then same with the right channel, alright, and the middle channel, definitely. Alright, and when you inhale and allow the bandhas to soften a bit and allow the tongue to relax a bit, you pave way for the opening of the nadis to make room for the energy to rise. That's inhalation. Alright. So for example, if we do not know how to engage the bandhas inside, and then we just inhale through it and then just access those anatomical elements inside without us really knowing where it comes from. Is dangerous. Yeah? Because what we are directing there is the energy itself, and there's a huge possibility that yes, yeah, because you're stimulating some nerves inside using the tongue, yeah, it might cause a sudden premature rising of the energy, which could be too intense for your nervous system, because the bandhas, they regulate the pressure and the amount of intensity you're sending inside the nervous system, right, for your health and safety. So what happens now when you exhale? When you exhale now, because one of the roles of the Khechari Mudra is to keep the energy confined inside. And then when we exhale, since the air comes out of the body, and the apana vayu, the apana vayu, the energy which comes from the hips, which you might consider apana vayu as Kundalini energy. You don't want that apana vayu to exit the body, because the natural flow of the apana vayu is downward and outwards. And when we exhale, it exits the body. So for us to keep the energy, the apana vayu, confined inside without it escaping out. So as we exhale, we're gonna close our bandhas again. We're gonna utilize our bandhas again. So especially the Mula Bandha. So the Mula Bandha, a more meaningful practice of the Mula Bandha for me is not to tighten and clench the anus and the genital region. Rather, really exhale the breath to the fullest. When we exhale all the air out of our system, there's no way but for the inner body to really go hollow, and the sensation goes all the way down to the pit of the hips, really hidden there, close to the tail, and you will feel that that point closes. Now, literally, it will close. The navel region falls backwards and really deep down the hips. You will feel now that point closes, and that's your Sushumna Nadi. And then before it closes, what you're gonna do is to jump, the pelvic diaphragm upwards. So it's like a clip-up sensation. So like that. So if you practice the alternate nostril breathing with retention, so all the skills that you will gain the practice of pranayama asana would have to be applied as well in the practice of Khechari Mudra. So the tongue, what's happening inside the tongue is just like an effect of what's happening inside the hips, and the tongue will just follow, because the sensation is actually the same, and you apply the same sensation you are feeling in the hips inside the throat, and the tongue will just do the work of doing and mimicking what's happening inside the hips. So when we exhale now, before that point closes, you're gonna clip it up a bit. So you will feel now a slight jumping up of the pelvic diaphragm, and there's like a component there that jumps up as well. That's your energy as well, and you're gonna catch that now, by using your next inhalation. Inhale, and then you're gonna rise the energy up again. And of course, the Uddiyana Bandha will draw up even more, so you can keep rising the energy, and the Jalandhara Bandha, really the Jalandhara Bandha, will play an important role in lifting and sending the energy higher up, to enter and to regulate the pressure and the intensity of the energy you will allow to enter the nervous system. Alright, and then at the top of the inhalation there, or the exhalation, what happens now with the tongue, and the tip of the tongue will slide backwards and upwards again, really higher up, the origin. And the origin of, or the endpoints, now the origin is not the hips, the endpoints could be felt really between here, higher up, like you are, reaching the tip of the tongue between the eyebrows here. But definitely it's a sensation. Feels like the tongue, the tip of the tongue, can reach really high up there. And then here, really behind this, the bridge, the pathway really closes. And then you're gonna use the tongue now to close that point, and then you're gonna slide the tip of the tongue slightly backwards. There's a bony part there, and then when you press the tongue, this one, upwards and backwards on the exhalation, and then the clip up, you can find now the prana, inside, while the subtle force is energizing the inner brain. Alright, so we allow the brackish and the old air out, together with the stagnation of the energy during the exhalation, without us allowing the vital force to exit the body, in preparation for your next inhalation. So when you inhale, now you're going to open again the pathway, you're going to allow the energy to rise. And of course the bandhas will do the work of rising, because the inhalation has a drawing out action. Right? And then you exhale, you're going to close the pathways again, keeping the vital force inside. So that's the relationship of the heps and the bandhas and the tongue, the breath, the practice of Khechari Mudra. Alright. So without us really developing the bandhas first, and without us feeling them first inside the body, practicing the Khechari Mudra is useless. It's pointless. Of course, it could lead to injury if you force yourself to do that. Alright, learning the tongue gesture is so easy, I tell you. It's really so easy. You don't have to actually search for the structural elements inside the nasal cavity. It will just happen. The moment the heps, the moment the bandhas, and the heps, the mula, and the udina bandha, and the jalandhara bandha, they work collectively in processing the breath, the tongue will just follow. Alright, even in the meditation, the tongue will just fall backwards without you doing it. And when you come out of the meditation, you will just realize that the tongue is already behind your throat without you consciously doing it. Because that's our tongue's way of making room for the energy to rise. Yes, so Khechari Mudra is really a beautiful practice to correct imbalances, not just physically, energetic imbalances, even spiritual and psychic imbalances, to really allow the energetic system to develop, leading to an abundant and healthy flow of the pranic force inside the body. And what else? Yes, Kundalini rising, Samadhi, absorption. Yes, many things. Many beautiful things we can gain from this practice, only if we do it properly and with right guidance and preparation. Till the next time. Namaste.